But I really appreciate the point that you were making there about like homage to the time that we're in and the opportunity that we have and you know, you said earlier how like insignificant of a blimp we are on the timeline. There's been plenty of empire collapses along the history of the US. A bunch of people have been in places during exciting times, but we're in one of those really exciting times. And I think really interestingly, like my generation, we grew up on movies and books like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, Star Wars is for my generation plus the one before mine. And so we grew up on these like, the youth and the rebels, like overcoming the evil like control state, whether it's the church or the state or the just the bad teachers, whatever thing it is. Like we, especially these last two generations, were raised on that. And I think there's a really interesting correlation there that kind of speaks to this whole conversation where in all of those series is especially like Star Wars or Harry Potter or Percy Jackson, uh the heroes always do something that the other good guys think is bad at the beginning. Like Luke gets laughed at for trying to be a Jedi. Uh, when they start doing like Dumbledore's army in Harry Potter, they're researching a whole bunch of magic that the school would never allow them to be taught. Like they're always step outside of the bounds of normalcy to actually finally overcome the big bad guy. And I would say that entheogenic medicine is kind of that for us. Like we're seeing it a lot with weed. We're now seeing it with stuff like especially psilocybin and MDMA have gotten, I think, the most study and the most like significant. Ketamine is kind of coming up there. There's been a lot of studies there. Like we're really seeing how we can step outside of these mental blocks that we've had for centuries, and we kind of have that special kind of magic or the force, if you will.
Think about all these convergences, right? And that's really what you're looking at. I mean, I think you nailed a lot of the pop culture stuff for us. I mean, we were even my generation. I mean, I know I'm probably about a decade older at least, but it's one of those things where growing up was He-Man and GI Joe and Transformers, as cartoons. And now that I've got kids and we've adopted all the comic stuff from the pages of the comics into the actual on-screen type of stuff. Like, you're right, and especially the Harry Potter, like, no doubt about it. Like, you make a tremendous point in terms of when these things start to make sense to others. That's where that bell curve comes along, right? You've got your pioneers, you got your early adopters, and then comes the crowd.
Mhm.
And I think we're actually on that uptick right now. And to anybody and everybody that ever fought for the rights of people to consume and enjoy, to take these deep spiritual awakenings with cannabis and psilocybin in this nation. My eternal gratitude to each and every one.
Shut up and sit down.